David Lee Roth, born October 10, 1954 in Bloomington, United States, is an American rock singer best known as the lead vocalist of the band Van Halen. He is considered one of the leading figures in rock and roll music. To say that Diamond Dave is a god of rock is an understatement, especially when you consider that he is a cornerstone of one of the major pivots in music history. Roth and Van Halen burst on the scene in LA in the late 70s and began a musical revolution that completely changed the landscape of rock music into the 80s. For better or worse, they ushered in the rise of hair metal, leading the way to its dominance of the decade. They can be cited as one of the few creators of a subgenre that forever cursed the followers of it for not being them. Every hair band draws from Van Halen without being as good as Van Halen. Every frontman is a wannabe David Lee Roth, who is not as cool as David Lee Roth. Roth's presence was more than just musical. He was a performer in every sense of the word. His flamboyant stage antics, martial arts-inspired moves, and outrageous fashion helped define the band's identity, setting them apart in a crowded rock landscape. His charisma and larger-than-life personality made him a cultural icon during Van Halen's peak years. The band's early albums like Van Halen, 1978, Van Halen This Who, 1979, and 1984 are now considered classics, largely due to Roth's electric energy paired with Eddie Van Halen's groundbreaking guitar work. Wanting to branch out into making a movie would, some say, be the beginning of the end of his being in Van Halen. But the reality is the eventual split started after the Fair Warning tour. Roth would begin to create a solo EP that was supposed to be the music for the movie he was planning, which never happened, and recruited Billy Sheehan to help, which would lead to the eventual creation of the DLR Band that would record his first solo album, Crazy from the Heat. His solo career would never match what he did in Van Halen, nor did it rival Van Halen's post-Roth run for very long. But his solo career was successful for as long as hair metal dominated in the 80s, and only began to slow down when alternative music took over radio in the 90s. Even so, Roth's legacy remains undeniable. His impact on rock music is still felt today, and his influence can be seen in countless performers who followed.